Okay, health bar is green. And good evening. Just finished tracing 2 images for the 3D printing project. So that means well, I have enough for another small speed stream. First of all, we're going to puzzle with the text because I have a lot of text to cram in only a couple frames, so let's see, it's about 846. Okay, and I wanted to check. All right. Also on Kara, and Kara shows I'm being live as well. Now, to puzzle with the text. Okay, this one can just go. Don't need that. Oh. And I really hate this word, so I'm just gonna copy it. Now I need to check something. I think this is going to be it. I'm just gonna let it linger for a moment. It's not correct. It's not correct. Hmm. I think this is better. And at the current time, when I want to put on my headphones, I have to check again. Not if there are wasps inside my headphone, but if there's spiders, because there's a lot of spiders inside the house at the moment. And while I really do not like spiders at all, they are very useful beings, and we also suffer a lot from mosquitoes. So we're in a neutral zone at the moment. They're allowed to stay until they get too big. Then my husband just picks them up and puts them outside, and I just let them be. But it depends on the size, if how long they stay. It's quite warm on the attic, so let me put on my fan. So if you hear something humming, it's my fan. I know it's not the best comic, by the way, but I just simply don't have any ideas, and this does refer to something that happened to me, or at least a book I wrote. And it also refers to a museum exposition where they hired someone to play Napoleon so they could welcome the people. Just a little bit of attraction. And, well, I just want to do something because I really, really, really like that museum. It's tiny, it's small. They hosted me one time, so that's also awesome. And I want to see if I can put a little reference on which manga I was reading. But I don't want it to be a clear reference because it is an adult manga, despite the title. So I don't want any underage kids go like, oh, sounds interesting, and then they see the real gruesome part of the French Revolution. And considering underage kids might be watching here, I'm not very inclined to talk about the title. Have mentioned it on my Twitter X once. No, I did read Rose of Versailles. I am actually rereading it right now. And it's well, amazing. Is that a word? That the manga I'm referring to has quite some overlap with Lady Oscar. There are a few key points, and they portrayed it pretty much the same way. And no, I cannot remember what I was thinking about last week. Short-term memory. But apparently, I did not know this. Napoleon once visited the area around Nieuwegein. So let me check the article again. In 1811, the emperor was in the area that is now our town. So yeah, Napoleon was even here. Also, I did get the big volume, the omnibus version. No, that's mostly because the first printing no longer gets published. And I was like, I've read this story about 3 times online already. Might as well decide to support the artist. Ah, yes, Koning Konijn. Yes. And yes, I know there's gonna be an accent over here, but that's post-production. And I've only read the scanlation of Rose of Versailles because you can't get it in print anymore. But hopefully, considering it's having a movie the coming year, maybe they'll reprint the manga. And then I can get that as well. Though I must say that I'm more inclined to the Grimm manga I'm referring to, which I won't mention, but you can always ask me in private. Yeah, I think that because it's a French story, it's easier. Well, French. It's the French era of the French Revolution. Might be easier to get in French. And despite I have owning a couple of French comics, it's mostly looking at the pictures and getting snippets of it. My French really isn't that great. But I have a few Melusine, I have Sailor Moon. There is one Angelic Layer that was out of print in English, so I got that in French. Do I have more French? I have 2 Papyrus comics in French because they are not available in Dutch anymore, despite the rest of the series being available. And today I received an English version of Robodus and Carbonaut, also known as Spirou and Fantasio in English. Not sure if it's in French, but I think it's also the name in French. The Marsupilami's Nest, because for some odd reason that is also a story that's unavailable in Dutch. But luckily my English is okay. I can kinda read a few words of English. Just a few. But yeah, the French Revolution, somehow it fascinates me, and at the same time it scares me. And I think what scares me most are the people who are like, this is the greatest era of the French history. And while I'm okay with people having their favorite periods, um, that believe in 1 month 3,000 people were beheaded or more. I can't really numbers top of my head, but there were a lot of people. And then you have the September massacres, where normal people started to kill everyone who was just looking at them the wrong way. So I can't really say this was the greatest era. It was an important era, and monarchy did kind of mess up, but I wouldn't say it's the best moment ever. Oh yes, oversimplified has great videos about French Revolution. There are a couple of eras in history that are my favorite. You have the Greek and the Romans. That's my top spot. You have the Egyptians, and that's mostly because they have multi deities. That somehow fascinates me. There are more countries with more multi deities, but they just really grasp my interest. But maybe if I look into them better, because multi deities do have a preference for me. But the French Revolution, it's an era I can't really grasp how people got to that moment. And I've read a book, a children's book about it, and I was that technically it's very good writing. I know it sounds very weird, but it's very good writing because those stories left me upset, which means the author managed to create an environment that really dragged me in and made me feel something. So it's very good writing. But I wasn't really prepared to read about kids' heads rolling during the French Revolution in a kid's book. But again, it's very good writing. And the same is that the adult manga I read has as well. I hate it in the sense of I feel terrible that this happened, but at the same time, I really admire the storytelling, the way it sucks me in, the way it sometimes switches art style. It's uh, it's a very beautiful but gritty art style, and twice or maybe 3 times it switches to, well, at least once it's to young mother's shoujo, once to a very classic shoujo, and then you had a high school drama. And I know it sounds weird, but this style shift didn't feel out of place in this manga. So hence why I already read it 4 times, meaning it's in my eyes it's good literature. It's something I want to read again and again, and it made me look up things. I read up about Madame du Barry, the mistress of Louis the 15th. I always mess up numbers, so sorry if I mess up numbers. I read more about the Comte de la Motte of de Motte. Anyway, the ringleader of the affair of the diamond necklace. So I read up about the diamond necklace. So this manga made me want to read more about it. Again, proof that it's a good story. Right, there's my preview. But I do realize that the manga does have to have your taste. It has to appeal to you. And are taking some liberties, and I wonder if all the rated liberties, let's call it like that, were actually in there. If that actually happened, I doubt it. Also read about the Sanson family. The family of executioners who were 6 generations of executioners, I believe. Because one of them left their memoirs. And that let's call it the adult manga, is all about the Sanson family, and the Rose of Versailles doesn't even mention the Sanson family, as far as I remember anyway. I always said it's a good story if it makes you feel something, even if it makes you feel upset. Because then you really were attached to the characters. And I might actually look up that animated show Les Enfants de la Liberté. How is that about my French? That's about pretty much the French I can. I can sound French, but don't worry. I don't really speak a lot of French at all. I can pretty much order something at a register, and I can say merci beaucoup, and au revoir. That's pretty much it. Partly because of lack of practice, because I haven't really spoken much French. I always try to speak French to French people. Even if they say like, we can speak English, so don't worry. I'm like, yeah, but I'm in France. At least I should make some effort. Yeah, you're true. Bad emotions are still emotions, better than feeling nothing. If you feel nothing about a story, then either the story is nothing, it's not something for you, or it was just a bad story. Bad stories make you feel meh, and then you forget about it. Orange juice is in the Netherlands the same as in French. Is it? Ah, yeah, we have jus d'orange, but most of the people just say sinaasappelsap. We only say jus d'orange in establishments because we want to sound fancy. But there are a lot of French words in Dutch anyway. Cadeau, bureau. Okay, why the heck are you... It's making noises, and I don't really like those noises. As if it's ticking against something, and I don't really like that. Now, and let me look up the cover, because, you know, Well, maybe if you hear something buzzing in the background, it's I don't really mean it. This is just my ventilator just making noises for some odd reason. Wait, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Now it's making a lot of noises, and I think it's burned through. Yeah, this is not good. My little ventilator probably died. Or is about to die. And I was looking inside and I'm not sure if there's a red wire in there, which is possible, but it looked kind of orange inside. So I was like, nah, let's turn it off. So those who know the story will recognize it. Those who don't know the story, fine by me. Let's keep it like that. So I no longer have a little ventilator up here, and it's already super hot. Thing has been dead for like 10 seconds. Notice how the eyes of my characters are getting smaller with each comic. But yeah, there's no ventilation up here, despite the window being all open. Oh, we don't need art critics to call my art style anime. Art teachers, they are kind of an art critic, or anyone who doesn't even know. So, not that long ago, I talked to someone, and he said I had never heard of it's not the fruit, but mang. It's like manga, yes. I never heard of it. There's a whole new world opening for me, and I was like, okay, cool. Did you also hear of the other term? Yes. I heard another term. But I have no idea what it means. And I was like, you mean anime? And he was like, yes. And that's just the animated counterpart. Oh, really? Oh, well, we don't have that here in the Netherlands. And I was like, yes, we do. So I gave about a 1 minute introduction to anime and manga in the Netherlands, what we have, why we have it, and so forth, and why a lot of older people think manga is evil, and that has to do with a company. At least that was my education. There was a company who distributed anime in the Netherlands, and they called themselves manga for some odd reason. And all they distributed was the rated version. So a lot of people were like, "Ooh, that's bad stuff." While at that time we had Candy, Natalie, Niels Holgersson, all those series that were not terrible and not evil. Um, have to draw my book. Yep, Poes, Dommel. Apparently Battle of the Planets, but I believe that was shortly before my time. I think the first one I saw was Candy Candy. I don't think I ever saw Natalie or the Family Crusoe. Did see Niels Holgersson. And of course Alfred Doos Kwak, but that was a little bit later. Not much later, but it was a little bit later. And I need to turn on some lights here, so my cable's not long enough. One moment. I am a bit sad about losing my little ventilator because it was a gift from my work. And I received it, I think, during the age we must not speak. Because according to some people, it never existed or it's gone forever, while it's back on the rise. So, let me check, by the way. Oh, sure, Wizard of Oz. I did watch that in English a while ago. I found an English dub of it. And I forgot to give my week report, by the way. Last week I managed to edit 3 episodes. I had hoped to do more Monday yesterday, but I was too tired when I came back from work. I had to cycle against the wind the entire way, but at least the road was open again, so that was fun. In a giveaway cabinet, I found a couple of stamps, and someone had tried spray paint, considering how the consistency, over the stamps, making the rubber all silvery. So I was like, I can take them along and see if I can fix them. If I can't fix them, then I can still toss them. But let's at least try it. Me, reuse, recycle, trying to fix things. Oh, vrouwtje theelepel. Yep, Mrs. Pepperpot. And I was looking up from what can you use, and can you use acetone, can you use alcohol, and because I didn't know what kind of paint it was. So my love, who is a chemist by nature, or graduated, but recommended soap and then an abrasive, like maybe sanding paper or something like that. But I was like, okay, and then I got home and I touched the rubber and it was like, it's all over my finger now. So okay, use my nail. Okay, it's from the stamp and on my nail now. So I just used a little bit of soap, let it rest into the soap, and then I could wipe it all off. So I have very sparkly stamps. I don't think it was the complete set. Either I missed one in the barrel or they didn't have it, but I think it was a stamp set from the action, but I'm not really sure. It has some flowers and leaves, so it's not really my thing, especially the big word love. But I'm like she's well, at least I can either give them away, use them for more workshops. They don't have to be tossed anymore. They're now cleaned up and ready for use. There we go. Fancy smancy. And I also, even though it's going to be very slow, I started to fill a sticker sheet with stampings, which will be gifted to a certain someone, to someone's in the chat when they'll be visiting me. Okay, why is my stream? It looks frozen here. Is my stream frozen with you guys? It is frozen with me, so it seems you guys can still hear me. Let me restart Twitch. Okie dokie. I'm fine here. Just a restart needed. That was all that was needed. Whoops. First we save. Wait. That needs to be there. And I already can't remember the last subject we talked about. Talk about a short-term memory. When I went to France, by the way, to Paris, it was a gifted outing, so I didn't have to pay anything, but in exchange I had to attend a couple of events, and one of them was a little tour on electrical steps. Well, we all know how that ended. There's a whole comic about it. And the guide also talked about the French Revolution. And it was a very awesome guide. He had my sense of humor. Like, just a little snippet of sarcasm here and there. Like, if they don't really like their rulers, they just throw them under the blade or something like that. And it was very casual about that, so it was my type of humor. And we also went to the Versailles Palace. And we were it was okay if we wanted to enter it, but considering how crowded it was and the waiting lines, they were like, by the time you do get in, you kind of have to go out again, because then it's time for, I think it was dinner. You would have missed the bus and all. And I'm not really sure if I would want to see the Palace of Versailles from the inside. Of course, there are people like Mona Lisa, and I'm like, okay, so Mona Lisa is a very good and haunting image, but I don't have the urge to see it in real life. I also had that with the Nachtwacht. While I really love Rembrandt van Rijn as a painter, his use of dark and light, I saw the painting for real and I was like, okay, so this is Nachtwacht. Okay, yeah, it's the painting. It looks like the pictures. Wait, did I mess up Louvre and Versailles? Where the heck did we go? The one with the pyramid. I think it was the Louvre then, not Versailles Palace. Of course, I did a Mona penny for the cover of the last comic. So yeah, I've been to the outside of the Louvre. Where is my book? My book is here. Let's draw the book. So I apologize to any French person who took offense that I accidentally mixed up Versailles and Louvre. Maybe what's bothering me is that the eyes are... The eyes are not bulging. Maybe that's the... Yeah, this is better. This is better. So yeah, I've been on a French Revolution binge lately. And the second manga is supposed to arrive somewhere this week. And of course, I already know the story, so it's more like I want to see which parts are included there. So when I read about the news article about Napoleon being in Nieuwegein, I guess that's what I needed to do for a comic. Maybe not the best one, but at least I can make a little bit of advertisement for Museum Wassenhoek. And considering they are a small museum, you could call the museum the size of a house. All about Nieuwegein history. Like the sword. think there was a declaration or something like that. Een soort of nieuwe gein. Or assuming a replica, not the real deal. That's, I believe it's a bronze sword. Yeah, usually the news mentions something about 14 Juliet, but this time, no, nothing. Whoop. Oh, so it just registered slowly. Okay. But again, if you want to know the title of which manga I'm referring to, feel free to ask me. It's not Rose of Versailles, but it does take place in the same time. And I will tell you in private, but not in a stream, because I don't know if there might be any minors watching. I consider the manga suitable for the ages. Yeah, I think I would call it suitable for 18 and up. I know 16-year-olds are quite sound of mind. They can make good judgments when it comes to reading stories. But there are a few things I would like, yeah, not really suitable for a kid. Though some parts they might not even get the reference, because there's an abuse scene in there. And it's beautifully portrayed. And I know that sounds weird. It can get grabbed right out of context, I know. But the artist showed it all without showing anything. And that's talent. You know what was happening, but it was all symbolic. Plus, we also really disliked the dude because of that. And we did not mind the way he ended. Yeah, I'm quite ranting and raving about a manga series that left such an impression. Again, proof why it's a good series for me anyway. I know other people who have glanced through it and they were like, nah, not my cup of tea. And that is fine. We all have our own preference to stories we like. But anyway, does anyone have any plans for the future they wish to share? But do keep privacy in mind. So don't mention dates or specific events, things like that. Think about your own privacy and safety. That's most important. So only share what you either wish to share or something that has already happened. Well, repairing is important as well. Did things break? I mean, of course they broke, otherwise you wouldn't be repairing it, but yeah, talking about Abonai, by the way, I myself won't be attending Abonai, but someone I know will attend, and they asked if they can take my binder along with mini prints. So at least my mini prints will be at Abonai. An album. May I know which album you're looking forward to? I'm also I am someone I know is looking forward to the new album of The Offspring, and of course we're looking forward to the Ranma remake, and um, we saw a picture of a new shampoo figurine that's being made. So unfortunately, no, not possible to pre-order just yet. Yeah, lately I have a bit of a mixed feelings about stories of Yoko Tsuno. I think they're starting to happen too much in too little pages, making it somewhat confusing to follow sometimes. You need to read it about 3-4 times. Art is still very pretty, yet at the same time you can see that the artist is getting older. A lot older. Because he sometimes makes very wonky faces. I'm like, how did that get allowed? Oh, Disney music album with rock pop punk artists. There are a couple of punk artists or rock artists we heard some Disney songs from that were covers that were very, very nice. I think I'm almost there. Yeah, Yoko Tsuno is indeed a very long running series. But it's still so open. At anything can happen, and if the author, we do not hope that, knock on wood, all that jazz, does pass away, we will be left with an unfinished saga. Okay, I think this is all. So let's do the books. A new kick costume parts, that's also nice. I do need a light gray for it anyway. Now I need to add some shade. I think the highlights are a bit too high setting for this. Still need to make my Christmas card, of course. I'm not sure if the idea I have in my head is going to be feasible, so I might just opt for a basic chibi art piece or whatever. Okay. And now the background. Will I do it? Will I do it? No, I can't do it because the position of the flag is differently. Oh well. No red, white and blue. I'm just gonna make it less saturated. Like I said, those who know the series will probably recognize it instantly. Those who don't know the series are in for quite a surprise if they open it. And why is this Alolan Raichu suddenly on my desk? There you go. There's where it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can reorganize the text so it looks a bit better. And now I need to do that little accent. You guys can go text check while I hydrate. Meanwhile, I'll start up the other file. I'll do that on the second screen. First, we're gonna save it so the why is there an exclamation mark over here? Oh, no advertisement this time. Ah, there's the advertisement. Okay. Two OKs, and here is the text accompanying. I copy pasted the name of the museum, so it should be right. stream crashed, at least from my side. Not dropped frames. I dropped 1.4% frames. 1073 in total. Just needed to restart my stream. Apparently it's dot and need what. And let's put it in here as well. So I think this is all approved. At least the comic is approved. That's one for sure. So we can save that before we forget that. And then we can start it again for the banner. Yes, save. Yes. Sure. So I managed to shut it down and restart it at the same time. Talented. Let's not put the manga into the shut just yet. Okay, so we still have a little bit of time left for another trace. And we're starting, yeah. I always mix those two up. Let me check the name. There's a couple of characters and I'm never able to write their names right. If I know the one, I know the two, so... Double E, double A. Right. Double E, double A, and I believe this is Nohaya. And otherwise I still have time to fix that. Doesn't really matter, but because in the end they're still gonna both be used. Wait, this is not good. This is not good. First of all, let's do a new layer. So I am getting tired, so they always need to check. Well, I believe this is Iranohaya, and I believe she is the High One of Light and Love. But she's one of those characters that I actually don't use that often. And to be honest, I don't even know from memory what her sister is the High One of. I also don't even know which of the two is the eldest. I know they're sisters, they're not twins. But I don't know which of the two is the eldest. Nohaya is a bit creative, let's call it like that. And her sister, Iranushka, is very serious. Maybe a bit too serious. All the high ones have their quirks, and when it comes to Iranushka, it's her quirk is she's way too serious. As you can see, Iranoia has the same tiny pigtails as Penny, but they're not based on each other. And the pigtails were drawn differently. There used to be just tufts of hair, but now it's now more pigtails. And I scribbled an extra bow with this image because I could. No, wait. And on first glance, both the Era sisters seem to have short hair. However, they kind of have like a bob with a thinner part that's mostly hidden behind their back. Like a big ponytail or something like that. You see it more with Iranushka than with Iranohaya. I don't think this finger here is going to be printed. I'm starting to learn which sizes I need to have it printed. So fingers might look a bit thick when drawn, but when you print them, it's more or less into the right size. And this is part of her hair. So I think this is all the line art. Now onwards to the eyes. I do hope these eyes get printed on a different layer, because that would make it a lot easier to paint. I ordered myself a small Ita bag, because someone I know is designing their own bag and I want to support them, so then I'm going to spend it on a good, decent bag. But I do want a small temporary one for when I do, for example, groceries. That I can walk around with my penny maxi pin. It's not it's a bag I probably want to take along to conventions, but I don't think it's possible, because I usually need more stuff, and that Ita bag will mostly be for the, if you just grab some groceries, be back in an hour, that kind. Okay, so we're first going to test it to see if it's all correctish. The E, how does the alphabet work? I did save my settings from last time. That saves a lot of time. Fingers are fine. Ooh, the eyes are on a different layer. That means the mouth can be on a different layer as well. Ooh, and I spot a little hole. Oh no, oh no. There's a little hole in here. First we're going to do the mouth, because that's a different layer. And we always preference that, different layers. There we go. And it's this little part that it sees as, for some odd reason, as a hole. And what usually fixes it is if you just give it a different color, a mid-tone. And we convert it. Oh, I forgot to put a setting on. Let's redo that. It's a wonderful site. You just sometimes need a little bit more patience. Okay, this already takes quite long, so let's make sure we save the right file here. It usually isn't that slow, so making the same mistake twice. How wonderful. Okay, it's not supposed to take this long. Fine, I'll just restart the site. It probably forgot things. I mean, it's not that tricky, so to redo it. Invert output from inches to centimeters with a width of 100 and a depth of 3. I need to have it on extrude, transparency white, and enable smoothing. And there it goes. That goes a lot faster. Mouth and eyes are a different layer. Hole has been plugged. Which means Era no Haya is done. Let's download it instead of clicking convert another. I'll show the previews afterwards, by the way, so don't worry. I really want to know what Anushka was the patron of. I should have it listed somewhere, so. Yep. It's not listed in here. Yes, Era no Haya is light and love. And Eranushka is Earth and Family, the serious one. Now I can rest easily. And in their previous life, let's call it like that, they were gamers, quite high ranked as well. They played the Game of Thrones, and one had the game handle hexadecimal, in a reference to a reboot, by the way, and the other had the handle 242. There was a third gamer in the group, by the way. His name is Maki, and his name was Demon of Rising 32. And where Ira Nohaya likes frilly dresses, Iranuska likes very calm and plain dresses. And it's rumored that Iranuska has only one pair of earrings and one necklace. And while they could conjure up as many jewels as they want, she keeps on wearing the same necklace and the same earrings. They have a special meaning to her, I just don't know which meaning just yet. And those who watched my stream last Sunday, and otherwise it might be spoilerish, I started painting the alien figure. Took a while before I got the paint color right. Accidentally got a new skin tone. Because that's not going to be printed anyway. So I think this is... So again, it looks like she has a bob, but she has a really part of long hair. When it comes to the high ones, they actually almost all have long hair. The only difference is Maki, the high one of water and honor. And they currently have a skin tone that matches their current patron. Or not patron, ward in this case. To make them seem trustworthy, they picked a skin tone that wouldn't worry their ward. But they can have any shape, any color. They have I even designed 4 basic looks for them. One for north, south, west and east, and this is their north form. So it is quite possible you could meet them in a different country, and then they would look more like people in that country, so they will not worry the people. That's just a thing that gods do. Look like the people who worship you, so they think there's a connection. Let's call it like that. But do not worry, they have many looks, and their looks even vary over time. So yeah, you could almost call them dittos. Let's see how this works. Did I make a mistake? Is the mouth on the same layer as the eyes? I doubt it, considering it's a small line this time. So 10 and 3. Yeah, you could call them changelings. They are so old they don't have a solid form anymore. They do remember their first form, their very first one. Okay, no holes. The eyes are on a different layer. I'm not gonna do the mouth on a different layer. It's going to be fragile as it is. That's all good. Oh, wow. Yeah, Ranushka went fine. Let's start up Cura so I can show them. This is going to take, well, first we're going to resave this as a clip. Studio format. So I can save all the layers. Oh, it's already done. I need my download folder. Sure, let's put Iranushka and Iranohai on one page because they're sisters anyway. One is looking at the other and the other is not looking at anyone but you. I'm really pleased with these two. I have a feeling these two are going to be my favorite of the designs. So I'll print them soon enough. So that's it gonna be for today because I still need to convert it all. The video, upload it, blah 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 blah. And these two girls are gonna be magnets. I'm going to make all the high ones magnets. The Forever Young characters are going to be standees so I can put them with my books as decorations. I shouldn't forget I still need to design coins. I need to design coins for all the characters. I have 2 high ones left. And then I can do other characters that have priority, and I have one I just want to do for myself. So there's still plenty to do and still plenty to test print. I have, let me calculate, I believe 3 that were already prepared, and I need to add these 4 with them. So those are probably going to be printed somewhere this week. And Sunday is going to be an art stream again, painting, priming, and probably taking pictures for next week because we have a new month. And let's see, And we're already heading to August. I'll be seeing you. That's the short story. So, bye bye.